Hello all and welcome back to New Hope Tarot. We're going to be doing your pick a pile for something you need to learn. All right, go to your dedicated pile and I will meet you there. Hello, pile number 1. We're going to go ahead and get your cards out, but before we do, Spirit has asked me to meditate upon the cards, and before reading them, to meditate, and they have given me some visuals, so I need to go over these with you before I look at the cards. I'm not sure if this is going to make any sense, but I wrote them down. They gave me some the same pattern that kept shifting into several different ones. They also gave me a W or 2 V's that were intertwined. They also gave me an up arrow and a down arrow. And the last thing that they gave me was contrast of light and darkness. So what all of this signifies to me is that you are malleable. That's the biggest thing that I'm getting, and that you are aware of the ups and downs of different things and how everything is intertwined. Or if you're not, that is Spirit guiding me to tell you that everything is intertwined and everything is going to have its ups and downs, its darkness and light. But the one that stuck out to me the most was the same pattern that kept shifting into several ones, which to me was the biggest point of being malleable, like kind of going with it, learning and adjusting and building upon something, but making it more and more. That was what I was getting. All right, please take it how it resonates to you. That was just what they showed me. All right, so the very first card I have is Get Creative, which would make sense with the patterns. We have Very Soon and Decide. With Very Soon, it says clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. Then we have Decide that says may you navigate with purpose. Interesting that we have Decide twice. So far, I'm getting a clear imagery of what is happening. With the Very Soon, there is a couple that is very lovingly together, and I feel like that is the decision you will make, something that feels good to you, possibly something creative, because the initial card is Get Creative. And then the Decide card has a rocky path, but it has a clear path to a lighthouse. So again, the card is saying, may you navigate with purpose. And what this means is that, yes, it could be a bumpy ride to get to where you want to go, but it looks like there is a light at the very end. Whatever it is that you're wanting to attain, that's what it is. But you have to decide that that is what you're wanting. All right, but let's take a look at what the cards say. We have the Queen of Wands in reverse, Judgment, the Fool, and Page of Wands. Yes, so funny enough, we have 2 major arcanas and 2 wand cards. And the wand cards is about creativity, the fire within, right? And incidentally, that's the card that we got, Get Creative. With the Queen of Wands in reverse, I feel like you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone that's the major feeling that I'm getting, because the either either you are being too rigid in your thoughts, or where you're at currently, it's too strict maybe in their policy. And I feel like this is the majority for people. I feel like this is really in regards to a place of business. It could be in regards to a person that you're with. Maybe they're too rigid, or maybe a family home that's too rigid. But overall, I'm getting, take it how it resonates. I'm feeling that this is mainly about work, but fit it into your situation, how it needs to be fit. Because if you were drawn to this pile, this message is clearly for you. Maybe you don't mesh well with the values of the company or the person that you're with or those around you. Maybe you feel you could do more, but you are restricted in the area that you're at right now, is the feeling that I'm getting. Because the Queen of Wands is in reverse, I'm feeling that like there's things that you want to get done, but it's like you're being suppressed and you're not able to, or you're being held down. I hope that makes sense. In the avenues that you're able to take, or whatever that looks like, with the Judgment. And funny enough, the Judgment card is a card about decisions. It could also be about cause and effect, but I feel like it's really about decision. So again, we have decision. Apparently you have a decision to make, my dear ones. With the Judgment card, I feel like it's really asking you to evaluate your situation, and if you are in alignment with it. Because this Queen of Wands is in reverse, I feel like you're not feeling completely comfortable with where you're at. Because it is the Queen of Wands, I do feel like possibly you're making good money, or you're in a status that is fairly high up. But again, I don't feel like you are in alignment with the overall feeling or the overall company and what it presents, or how it presents itself. And perhaps you already know that something is off. And I feel like you may have been vocal about this a time or two, and you've been shunned off in regards to it. Like, it's like, yeah. I don't know, that's the feeling that I'm getting. Then we have the Fool card, which I feel is encouraging you to take a route that will bring you joy and pleasure. Typically the Fool could be, it's something risky, but I'm not getting any risk here. I feel like this Fool is very happy and doing things that they want to do, doing things that makes them happy and brings them, I don't know, I'm getting a very light feeling in regards to this Fool. And maybe you don't have a lot of people agreeing with you, and maybe there's judgment around this decision, but at the same time, you feel like you have to do what's right for you, although it's not an easy decision. The Page of Wands here, I feel like it's asking you to put your thoughts into action and take steps to doing something that you are ready for. You might not feel that you are ready for it, but you actually are. And I feel like that's the lesson here, is that really take into account how you're feeling, how the situation is making you feel, because your heart is really desiring to do something more creative. And you have to decide how you want to align with that, because it's very clear that you have to decide. I mean, yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 3 times it's saying here. I mean, everything is being very, very, very clear. Let me just get some clarifying cards. Okay, we have the Hierophant. Yeah, you already have the knowledge that yeah. And the Ace of Wands, which is a life change. Definitely move forward to do something purposeful. And again, it's a wand, something creative. Another card. The Four of Wands. Creativity, freedom, stability. It might feel a little rocky at first, is what I'm getting, with you possibly walking away from a position that you are making decent money at. Maybe not all of you, but I feel like a majority of you are making a decent amount of money in regards to this. But look, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 wands in with the tarot alone. And I have pulled out 7 cards altogether. 4 of them were wands. The rest were major arcanas. Okay, so this is, the Spirit is definitely telling you, follow your instincts, decide. You have the ability to do what it is you're wanting to do. You just have to take the right steps toward that, or any step toward that, truly. But it ultimately comes down to you deciding. So again, the lesson here is follow your heart. Follow your heart. Assess your surroundings. Because you're definitely not in alignment, and you're going to have to really come to terms with that and how you're going to move forward. All right, my dear pal number 1, this was your reading. All right, until we meet again. Bye. Hello, pal number 2. We're going to be looking into your cards, but before we do, Spirit has asked me to meditate upon the cards before looking at them, and they have given me some visuals, and the visuals were the number 4, but it was a weird 4 that kind of looked like Jupiter, the symbol for Jupiter, an N, but again, it was a weird N that looked very similar to the sign of Capricorn. The dragonfly and a triangle that was resonating, so it kept repeating. So, but the word resonate is the word that they gave me when I was looking at the triangle, and it kept repeating itself. So kind of like a trippy triangle, like it just kept going. But they gave me the word resonate that went along with that triangle. Okay, so before I even look at the cards, I'm going to tell you what I'm getting from these 4 things they showed me. Jupiter is a planet of good luck, I don't believe Jupiter is in Capricorn this year, but I'm not fluent in astrology, so I would not go by that. I would do some extra research if needed, but I don't believe so. I don't believe it goes into Capricorn for quite some time, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe it does, but maybe it's like towards the end of the year. Anyways, that's not the point. I don't want to take up any of your time. The Capricorn is a sign of ambition. And together, because they showed it to me back to back, to me, it's discipline. That's what it symbolizes together, like being disciplined in your ambition, not just in your ambitions, but be disciplined in, like, don't overwork. So being disciplined in all aspects of your life, because Capricorn, and I'm not saying that this is for Capricorn, I'm saying that this is what they showed me. So maybe you have aspects of yourself that is very Capricorn-like, or maybe you have Capricorn somewhere in your chart. But what this is saying is that don't be just overly disciplined at work, because maybe you... Or hold on. So no, thank you for the corrections, my angels. They're saying don't just have discipline at work. So they're not asking just to be disciplined at work, because you may have the tendency to overwork and really throw yourself into work. What they're saying is that be disciplined in all areas of your life. Okay, that's what I'm getting with those two symbols that they showed me. Then they showed me the dragonfly, which can be a change in perspective. It could also be about self-realization. Maybe removal of your inhibitions, something that could be holding you back, some sort of hesitation you might have. Also, the dragonfly is very efficient. So this could be being very efficient with your energy, so that you're able to disperse your energy throughout your entire life and not just use it all in one area. The reason why I say that is because the dragonfly moves at about 45 miles an hour, yet it only flaps its wings 30 times a minute. So it makes that very long distance seem effortless, and that's usually because it seems that way because it's very efficient with its use of momentum. Okay, its use of its wings and using its efforts appropriately, so that they can take the longest distance possible with the least amount of effort. That doesn't mean that they're lazy. That just means that they are wise enough to recognize that they have a point that they have to get to, and they still have to have the energy when they get to the end. So they don't want to exert all of that energy just on the traveling to get there. They want to enjoy the travel to get there, and still have the energy when they get there to have that momentum and that energy moving forward. All right, that is what I got. I hope that resonated. That's what they showed me. Now let's take a look at your card. Strength. Interesting. Codependency. Okay. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. Okay. So I'm getting I'm getting a very clear message here. May your soul sing freely. So what this is, again, this is going to go back to the signs that they showed me. This is very clear. This is saying be strong in your ability to redirect your energies and not just into work, right? That's something that I mentioned, have the, what was it that I said? I don't remember what I said because it just comes out. I wrote the signs, but I didn't write the meanings. What was it that I said? Oh, I said discipline. So take the discipline. Thank you, my angels. Take the discipline to not just for work, but to make sure that you're well disciplined and well balanced in all aspects of your life. Being efficient with your energy so that your soul sings freely. I really like this. This is great. We have the King of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles in reverse. We have the Knight of Cups in reverse, the Four of Cups, and the King of Pentacles again. Holy smokes. So let's take a look at these cards here. The message is very clear between what the angels gave me, the oracle cards, and the tarot cards. So let's take this one by one. The King of Pentacles, which, by the way, I believe is a Jupiter card. So very, very, very interesting. And this particular King of Pentacles is the Rider-Waite version, and he is looking at his pentacle, and he's incredibly focused at this large pentacle that he has in his left hand while he holds the staff on his right hand. And what this is telling me, if I'm looking at this particular card, this is telling me that this is your energy for sure. This is saying that you're focused on work and financial matters. You're not paying attention to anything else. He is strictly looking down at that large pentacle. All right. The Page of Pentacles in reverse, this is telling me that either you aren't being appreciated where you're at in your place of business, or perhaps you're neglecting or not appreciating those in your life. All right, I'm not here to knock you, my dear ones. I am here to give guidance. All right, because again, you came to this reading. This is about something you need to learn. All right, and this could be very well be something that you're not even seeing or recognizing. Hence why it's something you need to learn, because you don't know it. The Knight of Cups in reverse, I'm feeling either somebody's not feeling appreciated, whether it's you at work or your loved ones. I'm also getting that maybe your sense of identity is attached to your work. That's not what this card means, but that's what I'm getting. The Four of Cups here is showing me that others are offering their emotional support, or maybe you need emotional support. But maybe some of you may be focused on a certain idea or outcome that may be unrealistic. because on this Four of Cups, we have 3 cups next to him, next to the person in the card, and they're right there, right at his side, and he's not even paying attention to it. However, he's got his focus on, very similar to the King of Pentacles above, very focused on something specific. Again, whether it's an idea or an outcome, but it's almost like an imagined idea versus the 3 cups that are right next to him. Like, those are solid. Those are really there. The other one, it's kind of like an imagery. So that could be a possible dream, an illusion, something like a false creation of his imagination. And ignore the he's and the she's. This is all the energies, okay? The King of Pentacles, so the last King of Pentacles is it's a completely different energy than the initial King of Pentacles. I'm looking at this King of Pentacles, and he's not looking down at his pentacle. He's actually making eye contact. He's looking straight ahead, which tells me that he is more connected and present with his surroundings. Like, he's more there. He's more grounded. Not to say that he's still not focused on finances or anything like that, but finance is not his sole focus. He is more aware of things around him. And in the image, there's also little lights behind him, which signifies that he is more enlightened. He is more guided by his inner self and by his spirit team. On this particular card, he is holding the staff with both hands. And the staff has got a little pentacle, well, not a little pinnacle, but still a pinnacle on his staff. And then he's got a ginormous pentacle on his throne, just above, atop the throne, right? It's connected to the throne. So what this is all telling me is that the moment that you gain your groundedness and like the dragonfly, you change your perspective, right? And you come into your self-realization. You come into that. You become more efficient, or you remove the inhibitions, which could have been this cup, right? The cup that is here in the Four of Cups, showing this person, it's something that was distracting him from other things. So I feel that with the dragonfly imagery that I had gotten, that the spirit had shown me, I feel that once you gain or change your perspective and come to a certain realization of how others around you and how you are affecting others and how that is actually affecting you, once you do that, you remove those inhibitions that were actually keeping you stuck, and you become more effective in your job and in your overall life. Because the wand represents creativity, innovations, movement, fluidity, communication also, actually. So I feel he's this particular King of Pentacles is well-rounded, versus the other one just seemed a little bit more not greedy, that's not the word that I want to use, but just preoccupied. I guess really that's the word I'm looking for, preoccupied. He's overly focused. And remember, I said at the very beginning that you might be overly focused because we have the codependency with the addictions are affecting your romantic life. And I felt that this reading really summed the oracle cards up and what the Spirit is giving me. Your lesson is to try to find your balance in how to not just over obsess or preoccupy yourself with financial matters, and try to come up with innovative ways to create a smoother flow at work. Disconnect your thought of your identity being attached to your career or to your finances. And I feel like you need to set a sort of boundary at work so that you are able to perhaps get out of work on time and not work as late as you have. I'm not saying you are, but these are things that are coming to me. Maybe leave work early so you're able to have time for your family or your friends or a personal life, right? But the initial card is strength, and it's giving me a sycamore, which is very well rooted, which tells me that you've got to get really grounded in yourself and stay strong in those stay strong in your, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. It escapes me right now. But it's funny because the sycamore looks very similar to the King of Pentacles, the second King of Pentacles throne. And I said that he looks very, very grounded, right? And I feel like you need to find strength in your groundedness so that you are able to, your family is grounding, you need to find an outlet to get creative so that your soul is free and not completely burdened by just strictly work. Because I'm getting the sense that you are a completely different person when you are absolutely preoccupied with your finances, and because maybe you're trying to prevent money problems in the future, or maybe you're trying to get out of money issues that you may have. I take it how it resonates, and the only way to really free your spirit is by actually grounding yourself and surrounding yourself by those that love you and appreciate you and know that you are not tied to your career. You are your own person outside of your career and your finances. So the biggest lesson here is become effective in the way, or efficient rather, in the way you do work. Like the dragonfly that is able to work move those or travel that long distance, but not having to exert all of that energy when they get there, that they still have the energy to enjoy other things, right? That's really what this is saying, is try to find what that balance looks like for you. My dear pile number 2, because I feel like that's where you're going to get your groundedness. Let's get some overall clarification here. I honestly I'm not even feeling like any is needed, because I feel like this is very clear, but I'm wanting to see how you're able to get grounded. Okay, so 2 cards came out. Funny. Temperance and the Magician. And funny enough, the Temperance card has very similarities, or has a lot of similarities to the Strength card and the second King of Pentacles, his throne on the second King of Pentacles. And this is guidance, healing, action, for the Magician, taking action, getting creative. Again, this is going to come down to getting creative. I feel like you have all of the ability to come up with some idea how to become more efficient in your workload. And even though people might not appreciate what you do, I feel like this is going to really bring you actually even more finances, because it feels absolutely effortless. And let's see. So a few cards came out. I'm trying to look at them. I apologize. So the Five of Pentacles in reverse and the Ten of Cups. Yeah. So once you let go of the difficultness of the way you're working, because I feel like you're working harder, you're exerting more energy than what you need to. You're happily ever after is going to come. You know, your Ten of Cups is going to come, and it's going to come to you effortlessly because you're not exuding all of that additional energy for no reason. So you're going to have to find what works for you. Take some time out and consider consider some healing time so that you can get creative, because I feel like when you're at work, you don't really have time to think for you. You probably don't even have time for lunch. I don't know why I said that. That's just something that came out of my face. This big mouth hole that I have in my mouth hole that I have in my face that just won't stop talking. That's just what came out. I don't feel like you have a lot of time to do anything, and you're just so work. And I'm getting that you need to step away from what's going on at work, kind of disconnect and create your own reality, how you want to move forward within this company. If this is the company you still want to be in, I'm not seeing you walking away from the company. I don't feel that there's a need to walk away from the company. I'm not getting that from the cards. What I'm getting is that you just need to change the way you approach your workload. All right. And that is going to look different for a lot of you, for all of you, probably. But whatever it is, go get creative, go do something that kind of releases your mind, and you're not so much in your head, but you're more in your heart energy, and you're just doing things and you're feeling things, because the more you do that, the more you're going to get in touch with what your actual needs are. And that's when you're going to change perspective, and you're going to come to a certain realization of what you're going to do moving forward. And because of all of that, things are going to fall into place. Your love life, your family life, your work, your finances, everything is going to fall into suit. You just have to take the time to disconnect for just a little bit, and really, and you don't have to disconnect all at once. I'm not saying that you have to take a month off. I'm not saying you have to take a week. I'm not saying that. If that's what you want to do, feel free to do so. I'm saying you can disconnect a little bit at a time. And that could just mean, leaving right at the time that you're supposed to actually leave, regardless of whether work is completed or not. you're there for a certain amount of time, and that's what you have to put in, and then spend more time with the family, but disconnect your thoughts from work, and spend the time with your family, or friends, and go do something that relieves tension and allows you to not focus on work. All right, my dear pile number 2, this was your reading. I hope it did resonate. Until we meet again, bye. Hello, pile number 3. I have your cards here, but before I do, I have a couple of spirit messages for you. They have asked me to meditate upon the cards, and before reading the cards, they were going to show me some images, and I have 3 images that came up for you. I have a mustache, breathing, and a stethoscope. I know that's incredibly specific, but that's what they showed me. A mustache to me is either like a disguise, right? Because the image that they gave me wasn't just a regular mustache. It was like a very elaborate mustache. It was like a disguise, like it was like a paper cutout mustache. And I feel like either you're masking or hiding something, or you are ignoring the fact that something is going on. And this could look like, Spirit, can you give me an example? I don't have anything. So this could look like a pain that you might have, and you just kind of ignore it, like, oh, it's just a pain. I'll just pop some ibuprofen and I'll the pain will go away. But the pain persists, but it's not a deep pain. It's just kind of like an ache, and you're just kind of ignoring it. And it could be ultimately something bigger. So that could be an example. But the breathing that they showed me was something that was inflating and deflating. So it took the effect of breathing. It was some deep breaths in and out a few times, and then some shallow breaths. And then the last, before I go into the last one, so that could be an indicator of maybe you're trying to catch your breath, or maybe you're having trouble breathing. So taking deep breaths could be something that has to do with anxiety, or maybe there's an ache that you feel like before you get up. Let's say you have a pain in your knee or whatever, and before getting up, that every time you get up, you sort of feel a pain. I'm not saying that this is what it is. I'm just giving an example. Before you get up, you're like taking a few deep breaths, and then just so that you have the energy to get up, like you're mentally preparing yourself to get up. And then you have shallow breaths moving forward because of the pain. And I'm not saying you're doing this because of pain. I'm saying that's just an example. That this was the imagery that they were giving me, this breathing. And I'm just trying to make sense because, again, this is very specific and there's a lot of people listening to this. So I'm picking up on energies, and that was the imagery that they gave me. The last thing that they showed me was a stethoscope. And the only thing that I can connect that to is a doctor, which is telling me for you to go get yourself checked out. Okay, that's the only thing that I got with a stethoscope, other than listening. Because with a stethoscope, you put the one ends to your ears and the other to the area that you have to really pay close attention to, listen to very, very closely. And in order for you to really comprehend what's going on, because you can't just be, you can't hear clearly with just your ears. You have to have this special tool in order to hear clearly what's going on with your heart, your lungs, whatever. And this can be an indicator of you possibly getting checked out, or you having to pay attention or pay closer attention to something that is going on that you just might be writing off. Okay? Let's go ahead and take let's go ahead and take a look at your cards. We have the Pillar, past life relationship, and Courageous. All right. Interesting. Then we have the Lovers, Justice in reverse, the Hanging Man, and the Ace of Wands. Interesting. You got 3 major arcanas in 4 cards. Wow. Okay, so this is not where I thought the reading was going to go at all, with the images that they gave me. So let's take a look at what these cards are saying, and let's get your story out there. And let's start with this Pillar card. The card shows 2 pillars with vines growing up and some snakes wrapped around the columns and them kissing each other, which tells me that, so the columns themselves have vines growing up, but what they actually look like are like cracking. Like a crack in the foundation is what it looks like. Maybe they are cracking and not vines. Either way, there are also, I just noticed this. I've seen this card many times. I didn't realize that there was a heart shape in the back. I can see the hearts on the pillar, but I didn't realize that just below the moon, there were 2 hearts. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay. So this reading really did not go out the way I thought it was. This is way deeper than I imagined it was going to be. So what I'm getting here is that you are strong, you're steady, you are someone that is incredibly consistent. But you're starting to crack a little bit. And I don't mean crack like emotionally or mentally, or you're not going, nuts. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying your inner structure is starting to fracture just a little bit because of someone. And here's the thing. I'm getting the sense that you haven't even met this person yet, which is odd. I'm not sure why I'm feeling that, but I feel like either you're meeting in the 5th dimension, or you have it, like this person keeps coming to you in your dreams. I'm not sure, but I'm having the moon show up twice, and this is really very significant of a mystery. So I'm getting the sense that for a good portion of you, you have not met this person yet. Or this person might be a mystery to you. Right? Take it how it resonates. But for whatever reason, again, there's 2 snakes wrapped around and they're kissing. So either you're not supposed to be together, because on this image there's a division down the mountains that are on the card in the background, which signifies that maybe they're from two different worlds, but they can't be kept apart. They still come into union. And I feel like you're quite fragile about this union. And I feel like you are very, no, this is not what is going to be for me. Or I don't know. Like, I feel like you have a lot of doubts in regards to this particular decision. And yet these two snakes they're kissing. They're not butting heads, but they're like touching each other's heads very, very gently, which is a definite sign of affection. And then we come to this past life relationship, which tells me that you have known, well, it says on the card, you have known each other before, which tells me that this person is coming back into your life from a previous past life, evidently, because that's what the card reads. But not just that. Again, it could be from, because this card is also, there's darkness around, but they're very vibrant. So again, I'm just getting a very strong sense that I'm really thrown, just an FYI, by this reading. This is something quite magical. But I'm getting a lot of hesitation from you, from your energies. I'm not getting the hesitation from the other person. I'm actually getting it from you. And this isn't a knock on you. That's just what I'm getting. And if you do know this person already, it's like you see them, but when you see them, like something inside of you crumbles just a bit. And you become weak around this person. And you can't understand why. The third oracle card is showing courageous. May each breaking wave build your courage. So again, break, a fracture, and then break. This is showing you that you've got to change the way you view things and how you approach this. Okay, then we come to the Lovers, which is a soulmate, a love, romance, kindred spirits, whatever that looks like. But this is something that this person is meant to be in your life. Then we have the Justice card in reverse, which is, I feel like you are trying to avoid this connection for whatever reason. I'm not really sure why. I getting from most that you don't feel that you deserve this, or maybe you just don't believe in past lives. Maybe you feel like you're imagining the whole thing. Maybe you just feel bonkers, right? That you could have some sort of connection with somebody you don't know. All right, then we have the Hanging Man, which I feel like this particular card is asking you to set aside your pride and don't get caught up in your ego and your thoughts and the way the material world thinks is really the feeling that I'm getting here. I feel like this is asking you to reconsider all of your emotions and your thoughts, your ideas, and your approach to this specific situation, because there's a lot more here than you even imagine. With the Ace of Wands, this is a gift or an idea. And again, there's I mentioned that there was 2 moons. So one was on the pillar, the other one is here on the Ace of Wands, and it's mystery. There's also a red ribbon, which is passion, longing. It's also attachment to the material world, which again, I had said in the Hanging Man, you might have to, or maybe it was in the Justice in Reverse, I don't remember, but you have to maybe let go of what the material world thinks or how the material world acts, because this is otherworldly, to be quite frank. This is actually beautiful. Wow. So with the mustache, breathing, and stethoscope, I feel like maybe your breaths do get shallow when you're around this person, like you can't. That's funny. With the Lovers, we have the Judgment card. That's hilarious. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the mustache, I feel like you're masking how you feel, like you're truly feeling about this person. Again, whether you know them or not, I'm not saying that you have to go around and telling people, but you do have to confront how you feel about this, and ask yourself why you're feeling this way, without your ego in place. And I'm not calling you, an egoist or egocentric. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that you have to let go of how this dimension views things, because I feel like you have a much higher connection with this person than ever imagined, than you ever imagined you could have, or you imagine even existed, really. So it's worth checking out, how you feel with the stethoscope. Lean in. Listen to your heart's desires. Listen with the stethoscope here. Now, if this is in regards to health, which I feel like maybe for a very minor percentage of you, it might have to. And because I do feel it, I do have to say it. So I feel like something very small could be occurring within your health, that if you don't take care of it, it might become something more than what it is. Maybe it was something that had happened, or maybe it could have been an injury from a while ago, right? And all of a sudden you're now feeling the pain, or whatever that looks like for you. Because with this past life relationship card, it could be something that happens to do with a past injury, or maybe your heritage. So let's say, for instance, somebody within your family had lung cancer, right? Or so. Now, I'm not saying you have lung cancer. I'm not saying anything like that. So please don't be scared. I'm just saying, look at your history. Take a look at that. And if you are having similar symptoms or something to that effect, it is worth getting checked out. Now, the red ribbon also could indicate back problems. So if you're having back issues, you might be having some deep breath, taking deep breaths or shallow breaths. I like deep breaths to get up because it might be hurting. And then you're breathing shallow because of the pain. So if that is the case, this pain could be masking the real culprit, and you should go get checked out. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a physician. I'm not any of that. But if it's in the cards, I have to I have to verbalize that. That's the job. And again, that is for a smaller amount of you, but either way, I still have to say it. And with this courageous card, this is asking you to be courageous, to get that taken care of. Okay. With the judgment and the Page of Pentacles has also come out. And as I was talking about the getting checked out, the Page of Pentacles did come out, which tells me that you're going to hear good news. So I don't want you to be overly concerned. But again, as I mentioned, we do have to bring it up. Okay. Then we have the King of Wands and the Knight of Cups in reverse. Okay. So, what this is saying is with the Lovers, we have the Judgment card, which is telling me that you have to let go of your ideas, and a rebirth. You have to let go in order for a rebirth to happen. So let go of your ideas in order for this to come to fruition. And be brave enough to face that. Be brave enough to let go of those hindrances, those different thoughts that are not really yours, but you're made to think that they're yours. They just happen to be of this world. Okay, then we have the Page of Pentacles with the Justice in reverse, which is good news. Overall, a new beginning. You just have to envision what this could potentially look like in your life. Having this person, and take a good look as to why you are against it. The Hanging Man has the King of Wands is clarifying the Hanging Man, and this is saying you need to take some time out. That's what I had mentioned with the Hanging Man. Take time to reconsider your thoughts, and that's when you're going to get your inspiration. And remember, I did say that this whole connection is otherworldly. The King of Wands is a very worldly king. And that's really your energy. Like, you are very, like, here. Like, you're steady. But, also, because the King of Wands is worldly, like, doesn't mind exploring different ways and different things. And this is what this is asking you to do, is take a different perspective. The Ace of Wands, I have the King of Cups in reverse. Now with the Ace of Wands, it's not just the wands, or it's not just the wand. It also has hands that are not touching the wand yet. And this is telling me that this gift is ultimately in your hand. The gift is there. Whether you want to take it or not is going to be up to you. Okay, this is completely up to you and how you want to approach it. With the Knight of Cups in reverse, the Knight of Cups is definitely new love. But I feel like if you don't take the time out to really reconsider all of this, then you could really miss out on this beautiful possibility. Okay. Now, if this has to do with health, again, as I mentioned, the Page of Pentacles had come out, and this, you're going to receive good news. But you have to make sure that you do get checked out just to be on the safe side. Okay. And what else am I seeing here? Yeah, so your overall lesson here is to be brave enough to break down some of your previous ways of thinking. Your, previous ideas, thoughts, you know, your ego's mindset. You know, you have to be brave enough. And many of you might not feel that you are worthy of this particular relationship. Okay. Spirit just said imposter syndrome. Maybe you feel like you are an imposter. But I don't know what to tell you about that. Okay, thank you, my angels. For those with the health issue, or where it might not be necessarily a health issue, but they just told me to tell you that thank you, my angels, that this could be a side effect. The pain that you're feeling could be a side effect of something else, and not necessarily anything major, but it could be a side effect of like maybe stress or anxiety or something like that, which would explain the breathing. I don't know why, but hypnotism is coming up. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. They're not giving me anything, but that's what they're showing me. So I have to say it. I got nothing on that. I'm sorry. All right. I think that was it for the reading. All right. So I'm just trying to see if there was anything else, but I'm not really seeing anything else here. At the bottom of the deck, I do have the Ten of Swords, which ultimately means change. You need to let something die in order for something to begin. And there you have it, pile number 3. That was your reading for something that you need to learn. All right, my dear ones, until we meet again.